What's going on today, people? It's Young Baseword, TJG, the Jewish Giraffe, back again, got another video. This might be the last video I put out before I leave for the holidays, so happy holidays to everyone. This video is going to be short. It's just something I've been wanting to talk about since Bonds came out, leveling this guy up here. This video is going to be talking about the comparison of Beatdown versus Straight to the Grave. So, Straight to the Grave is the new skill we have from Bonds. It just plays the spell Wasteland on the field. Before I talk about that, I'm going to talk about Beatdown, why it's good, and I'm going to talk about Straight to the Grave, and why it's different and also good, and they both have their cons and things like that. So with Beatdown, here's the Beatdown, or here's the Red Eye Zombie Beatdown deck I used to get to King of Games this season. So just the pros with Beatdown, I'm sure you all know this by now, so anyone who's watching this has probably played Red Eye Zombies before. The whole purpose of Red Eye Zombies is you get your Red Eye Zombies on the field, you get your Gazookies on the field, etc. You get enough spell and traps in the back. And then when you have your Red Eye Zombie Dragon on the field, you beat down, so every monster on your side of the field gets a 300 attack boost. So the reason this is good is because everything gets the 300 attack boost on your side of the field, and it's a 300 attack boost for each level 5 or higher monster you have. So you have all three of your Red Eye Zombie Dragons on the field, you're getting a 900 attack boost to each and every one of them, which is fantastic. The other good thing is, say you're up against Cyber Angels, you can't take their Dakini, you get to beat down, and it adds to that monster as well. So it's good because it doesn't have to just affect zombie monsters, which is the problem with Wasteland. Well, I'll get into that once I get into Wasteland. So Econ Tags are a thing, it's typeless, it's whatever, it's just as long as you have that 5-star monster in the field, that's why it's so good. And that it stacks and everything like that. The biggest con, I think, for Red Eye's Zombie is that, well, there's one big con in that you need the Red Eye Zombie on the field. Red Eye Zombie, when I say Red Eye Zombie, I mean the Red Eye Zombie Dragon, that res, you guys should know this by now. You need res on the field, and it's really easy to get down the field, so it's not much of a con because you have Gazookie plays, you have your Red Eye's Insight, you have your Red Eye Spirit, you've got a whole number of plays you can tribute because it only takes one zombie type monster to tribute Red Eye Zombie Dragon. You've got a whole number of things, and it's really not that hard to get on the field as long as you draw a decent enough hand. I know this is a 22 card deck and you can run it as 20. I think Storm's just too good in this deck, etc. Oh, that's just a whole other thing for a different type of video. I think the biggest con for Beatdown is that you can't activate during the battle phase. You can only activate it before then, and well, because it's a skill, and because of that, you're not going to have many Red Eye Zombie Spirit plays in the graveyard where you could be boosting things up, etc. So that is one of the biggest cons. Other than that, Beatdown is pretty much conless. It is one of the perfect offense skills, and as long as you have that 5-star monster on the field, you're going to be boosting up and beating down. That's what this skill does. That's all you need to know. Beatdown is good, and there's a reason why pretty much every Red Eye Zombie deck runs it. Okay, now let's talk about Red Eye Zombie using Straight to the Grave. Straight to the Grave is the new skill with Bonds. As I said, it just plays Wasteland. This is the Red Eye Zombie deck I've been playing with Straight to the Grave. So it just plays Wasteland, and Wasteland basically gives a 200 attack boost to all your zombie, rock, and dinosaur type monsters. You're not going to be running really any rock type monsters in this, but you might be running some dinosaurs. I'll talk about that in a second. So with this is just a 22 card concoction that I made. I've been using a little bit. It's okay right now, but I'll talk about the pros and cons of it. It's 22 cards because the other deck was 22 cards, and I want to compare them that way, just because I don't think Red Eye Zombie is one of the decks that necessarily has to only run 20 cards, because there's so many options for it. So the good thing about Straight to the Grave is that you get the 200 attack boost, so you don't have to have your Red Eye Zombie Dragon out on the field. You get your Gazookies up to 1900, you get your Heavy Knight of the Flame up to 2000, and you get your Samurai Skull up to 1900. Normally in Red Eye Zombie Dragon decks, you don't have a lot of space to run Heavy Knight of the Flame, so like, say you have only 2 Gazookies, you'd run 2 Gazookies, 2 Samurai Skulls, and then you might have a room for Heavy Knight of the Flame in there. So it's good because it allows you to tech in options like that now. Additionally, that 2000 attack is just so good for getting over certain things. It ties with Hazy Flame Cerberus, and the 1900 attack monsters tie with Hazy Flame Sphinx. So it's good where normally these monsters would lose to those, and especially in this Econ heavy meta with Hazy being good as it is right now. I think Red Eye Zombies can use that little bit of a boost, especially if you don't have options to get your Red Eye Zombie Dragon out on the field, such as you have used all your Red Eye Spirit, or you just haven't pulled an Insight yet, or something like that. The other thing I want to talk about is that you can run dinos with this. It might not be the best option because then you're not going to be able to tribute for your Red Eye Zombie Dragon. But if you want to run Black Brachios in this deck, it's good. If you want to run Hydreigon, it's good. Because, well, Hydreigon not so much, but Black Brachios gets up to 2,000 attack, and you get to switch your opponent's monsters. So it it does change the deck a little bit like that. Really, the most important thing to realize with Wasteland is that if you're running it like this, you want to be running more of a control version of Red Eyes. Whereas Beatdown is a more offensive version because you're going to be beating down, attacking, defending with your back row. If you have Straight to the Grave, that boost to your lower monster's attack, you're going to have the options for more control. Like, you're going to have Heavy Knight, which is great for control for banishing your opponent's monsters. You can have, if you wanted to, you could even run, what's that card? Guardian Statue, if you want to have that 200 attack and defense boost to that. You have your Black Brachios to change your opponent's attack and defense, or change them to defense position. So it's good for that. The other thing it's great for is it's a little bit of a pro and a con in itself. I think you can use the Wasteland as extra storm fodder. So say your opponent has 3 back row, and normally when you play storm, you can only get rid of 2 things if you have your 2 back row. But now you can get rid of your field spell and then destroy all your opponent's back row. It's good because you can destroy back row, but bad because then you basically are without a skill for the rest of the duel. You don't have your Beatdown, you don't have the 200 attack boost anymore, so it's kind of just blowing away your skill to potentially get rid of back row, which may have been a bluff, you don't even know. That's really the only pros I can see for Straight to the Grave. The biggest con is that it's a 200 attack boost, whereas Beatdown gives you a 300 attack boost per, so potentially a 900 attack boost. So, though it's always there as long as the field spell is on the field, it's not as good because Beatdown could be giving you so much more, and you're missing out on that really strong offense. It also just gives you so much more potential Beatdown. The other thing I want to say, the other place where Straight to the Grave is better than Red Eye Zombies is that, like I said, Beatdown only activates in the battle, or before the battle phase, or in the main phase, I guess is the right way to say that, and whereas this Wasteland is always there. So even on your opponent's turn, you will have that 200 attack boost, whereas with Beatdown, you'd only have it on your turn. So it is pros and cons, etc., but you really have to know what you're up against. For example, if you have a Red Eye Zombie with 2600 attack and your opponent has something that only has 24 or 25, be that as it may, whatever card that might be, you're going to have that all the time, whereas a 2400 attack normal Red Eyes with Beatdown wouldn't be able, and then you'd have to burn more of your back row to save your Red Eye Zombie. So there's that, and otherwise I think that Straight to the Grave is not as good of an option as Beatdown. I think there's still more options. I still need to playtest with it more. I did have about 20, maybe 30 duels with it yesterday because I had a lot of free time. And I was just consistently losing because I wasn't getting that Beatdown boost that Red Eye Zombie so badly needs to get over certain things in this meta. Like with this, you're not going to be able to get over Dakini at all. Even an unboosted Dakini, you're not going to be able to touch it at all. You're not going to be able to get over a Black Dragon Ninja. You're not going to be able to get over other things like that. You're not even going to be able to get over certain boosted whatchamacallit, Hazy Flames. So like with a Hazy Flame Cerberus and onto a Sphinx, if it's got that 1000 attack added on to the 1900, it's 2900. You're maxing out at 2600 and you can't econ take. That is why you run the Metamorphs, honestly. The Metamorph is really good in this deck, but you're not always going to have it. Additionally, I think Anti-Magic Arrows is a little bit wasted in the other Beatdown deck. I think Storm is a little bit better. Beatdown's still good. Wasted probably wasn't the right way to say it, but Storm I think is better in this. If you don't want to storm away your Wasteland, then I think Anti-Magic Arrows is a great option. With that said, also, I want to talk about Zombie World for a second. I don't think Zombie World will be running Straight to the Grave because you already have that field spell and then you're basically getting rid of it. I think if you want to run Zombie World, only run that in a Beatdown version. I think Zombie World will be a great one-of addition to the Red Eye Zombie decks. I think that maybe the Bond skill people were talking about, his NPC skill where he's going to have Zombie World on the field when you start it, that would have been a little bit too good, I think. But I honestly do think having one will be good, and I think we'll get more in the future. More copies of Zombie World, so I think 2 of in a deck, and eventually once we have more ways to search out field spells like terraforming and things like that. If we ever get those, they'll be great additions. Yeah, that's really all I gotta say on Red Eye Zombie for this. Long story short, if you just skipped ahead to the end of the video, Straight to the Grave, not as good as Beatdown, but they each have their own pros and cons for different scenarios. Just Beatdown is better overall, in my opinion. Call me an idiot in the comments if you want to, whatever you think. Let me know what you think. I definitely need to play test it with some more, and I need to fiddle around with some other decks for Red Eye Zombie with Straight to the Grave. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say on that. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. This is the Jewish Giraffe signing out.